Hello, Peter here again, your Pinoy accountant. So in today's video, yung sample natin is for all those freelancers naman or mga virtual assistants. So in this video, pag-usapan natin paano ba ninyo i-file ang inyong 1701Q or yung first quarter income tax return ninyo. So in our example for today, we have different kinds of virtual assistants talaga mga freelancers. Pwede kayong maging appointment setters, pwedeng medical VA, ayan, mga chat support. So, iba-iba yung sources of income natin. So, it could be may direct client tayo na nasa US or may agency tayo through agency na located abroad in the US, for example, or Canada or Australia, di ba? May mga agencies, virtual agencies na located abroad, and may mga virtual agencies naman or mga agencies that are located in the Philippines. So, more or less, similar lang yung treatment nila or yung pag-record natin. But in this video, iisa-isahin natin because may konting difference yung kanilang journal entries, kumbaga. So first, yung example natin is direct client. If direct client nyo is from US or any part of the world and hindi na kayo dumaan ng isang agency. So in most cases, yung mga ganon na direct client, yung contract ninyo is in pesos na. For example, 50,000 per month, 80,000 per month. May mga ganon na direct client na yung natatanggap natin or yung contract natin mismo is in pesos na. But there are others, mga direct client na in US dollars and per hour yung ating contract. So in this example is in pesos na. So January yan, may direct client from the US and yung monthly natin is 50,000 pesos. Example lang to, but in most cases if may yung mga VAs natin, they are receiving yung kanilang fees, fortnightly. Ibig sabihin, every 2 weeks, nakaka-receive sila ng sweldo, di ba? Sana all. Anyway, so, in our example, quincenas na lang yung ating example dito, every 15 and 30. So, January 15, natanggap natin yung in pesos, yung 25,000. So, yung entry natin dito sa ating cash receipts is magde-debit tayo ng cash, 25,000. And magkikredit tayo ng service revenue naman for 25,000. So, ipapakita ko lang sa inyo yung mga entries so that mas maintindihan ninyo. And at the same time, yung mas easier na din yung ating income tax computation mamaya. So, again, yun yung ating entries. And if ever naman na, for example, in US dollars yung pinadala, and then yung natanggap nyo sa bangko is in pesos na, I suggest pwede naman na yung i-record ninyo is kung magkano yung natanggap nyo in your bank. If ever hindi nyo ma-segregate yung fees and charges, but if ever kaya nyo namang i-segregate yung bank fees and charges na nakaltas doon sa inyong natanggap na payment, pwede nyong i-record yan. Magde-debit kayo ng cash, which is mas mababa na, net of the fees, and then magde-debit kayo ng bank fees or charges, and i-credit ninyo ang service revenue. So, mas mataas yung service revenue compared doon sa ating cash na natanggap because of the bank fees. Ayan. So, second natin is yung mga medical VA. Ayan, medical virtual assistant. So, in most cases, yung agency nila is located doon sa US. So, yung natatanggap nila is in US dollars. So, mostly, yung kanila is gumagawa sila ng, for example, Payoneer na account. So, yung sa account na yun is may US dollar account sila. And yun yung pinapadala nung kanilang agency is in dollars. So, paano ba i-record yon? So, yung gagawin natin doon, since it is in dollars and per BIR RMC, I think that's 12-2024, yung gagamitin natin is the BAP or the Bankers Association of the Philippines na exchange rate or yung spot rate. So, for example, quincenas. So, every 2 weeks pa din ito nakakatanggap ng mga medical VA, ha? So, today is Wednesday. So, I assume na may mga nakatanggap dyan ng kanilang sweldo. Anyway, so, let's say na yung sweldo ninyo is 500 US dollars. And pagpasok sa Payoneer, of course, may charges yung Payoneer na $3. So, paano ba natin i-record yun? So, first is, yan, kukunin natin yung BAP exchange or spot rate on that day, on the transaction date. So, all you need to do is pupunta kayo sa website ng BAP. That is the bap.org.ph. www.ecosystem.org.ph and ganito yung makikita ninyo. Ayan. So, may mga spot rates dyan and may date. So, yung in-example ko na lang is ngayon na date, May 14. So, makita nyo, madami dyan. May open, may high, may low, may close. So, actually, pwede kayong pumili dyan. But I suggest, yung open yung gamitin nyo so that any time of the day, lumalabas kasi yung open na exchange rate at 9 a.m. So, pwede nyo na magamit at any time of the day yung pag-record. So, for example, yung ginamit, May 14 or May 13, yung rate na gagamitin nyo is yung open na rate na, in this example, yung open na rate for May 13 is 55.8 and yung May 14 naman is 55.75. So, yan. So, i-convert ninyo. So, eto, example lang to, yung rate noong Feb 15 is 55.8 and yung rate naman ng Feb 28 is 55.75. So, yung conversion yan, 500 yung sweldo natin. So, that is your, yung service revenue ninyo yan is yung 500. Hindi yung 497. So, 500 and multiply nyo, yung rate is 55.8. 55.8. Ayan. So, yan yung service revenue ninyo is 27,900. So, yung fees naman, ayan. So, i-convert din ninyo in pesos, 55.8. Ayan. So, yung bank fees niyo is 167.40 and yung cash na natanggap ninyo is 27,732.60. So, ganun din, nung 28, Feb 28, so $500 ulit yung inyong fee. So, i-convert nyo ulit yan using the BAP rate ulit. So, just visit the website of the BAP.org.ph. So, for example lang, ito yung rate na yan is 55.75. So, yan yung kanyang conversion. And yung fees, $3 times 55.75. Yan. So, yung cash na tanggap natin in pesos is 27,707.75. So, yan yung conversion ng 500 USD. So, that's our example if in case na yung agency ninyo is located in the US or abroad. So, and natanggap nyo is in US dollars. So, our third example naman is pag local agency naman, let's say chat support kayo doon, yung pinagkaiba lang nito, yung mga local agencies, they are withholding. May mga withholding taxes doon sa mga payments sa inyo. So, for example, local agency, yung fee ninyo is 40,000 per month and every quincenas may 20,000 kayo. So, for example, nung March 15, 20,000, yung withholding tax nyo is, for example, 5% or 10% kasi yan, depende sa inyong income. But in most cases, 5% yung creditable withholding tax. So, 1,000. So, yung natatanggap nyo na lang na cash is 19,000. So, yun yung entry natin. Debit kayo ng cash, 19,000. Debit kayo ng creditable withholding tax, 1,000. And credit nyo yung service revenue na 20,000. So, yung important dito is yung service revenue dahil ito yung ating source ng ating data for our income tax computation. So, January, February, March, again, yan yung ating first quarter. So, i-total lang ninyo magkano yung inyong service revenue for the 3 months. So, yung total natin is 145,775. So, punta na tayo sa ating income tax computation. So, for our income tax computation, dalawa lang yung sinample natin, 8% tsaka 40% OSD. Dahil ito yung common na ginagamit. And probably in our upcoming videos na is the itemized deduction. Medyo mas mataas kasi yung discussion dyan pag itemized deduction. So, punta na tayo dito sa sales. So, yung sales natin is pag 8% tayo, balikan natin yung cash receipt books. Dapat, ito yung total na sales for, tawagin na natin siyang sales. It could be, yung sales natin, it could mean yung service revenue ninyo, mga fees, mga receipts, yan. So, 145,775 dapat yun nandito. 145,775. 775. And pag 8% tayo, pag purely 8% tayo, business or practice of profession. In our case, practice of profession yung mga virtual assistants natin. So, may allowable tayo na deduction na 250,000. So, yung taxable income natin for the first quarter, ayan, negative 104,000. And pag 8% tayo, flat rate lang yan, 8%. So, yung taxable income, i-multiply lang ninyo ng 8%, that would give us the income tax due. So, negative yung ating taxable income. So, yung income tax due natin is negative, but zero yan. So, wala tayong, pag negative siya, ibig sabihin wala tayong tax due. So, zero yan in actual. So, yung percentage tax, ito pala yung advantage pag 8% kayo. Wala tayong 3% na percentage tax. So, yun yung ating example if ever nag 8% kayo. Pag 40% OSD naman, so same din, yung ating sales, 145,775. And yung allowable deductions nito is 40% of that. So, again, that is 40% ng 145,775. That would give us yung allowable deduction na 58,310. And that would give us itong taxable income na 87,465. So, yung income tax rate na gagamitin natin, itong graduated tax table na yung gagamitin natin. So, 87,000, if titignan nyo dito sa ating table, dito siya nabibelong sa first row na 0, not over 250,000. So, yung tax natin is 0 or wala. So, income tax due is still 0. But take note, pag nag-itemized deduction kayo, 40% man, or yung graduated income tax rate kayo, 40% or itemized deduction, you are still liable for percentage tax, not 3%. So, yun yung medyo disadvantage pag 40% or itemized deduction is may percentage tax kayo. But i-compute nyo dapat yan so that mas malaman nyo kung saan kayo mas advantage, kumbaga. So, dito, in our case, yung 40% OSD, wala siyang income tax due, but may percentage tax due naman siya na 4,373. So, ayan. So, ito yung ating comparison. So, next na to is may income tax computation na tayo. So, pwede na natin to ilipat yung data natin dun sa EBIR form. So, open na natin yung ating EBIR form. Again, yung may bagong version na ngayon, 7.9.5. So, dito sa list of BIR form, open ninyo 1701Q version 2018. So, hindi yung sa taas, but ito yung may version 2018 yung pipiliin natin. So, i-click ninyo. And then, click nyo yung fill up. And then, okay. So, nandito na tayo sa ating form na 1701Q. Again, mabilisan lang. First quarter, ayan, amended return, no. Number of sheets, pwede nyong i-zero lang. And then, taxpayer type, professional. And then, dito tayo sa income from profession. Example, 8% muna tayo. 8%. And then, check nyo lang kung ano yung mga info pa na kailangan. Dito tayo sa date of birth. 18, yung day. Year is 1995. And citizenship, yan, Filipino. Foreign tax number, leave nyo lang as blank because hindi yan nag-apply sa atin. Claiming foreign tax credits, again, that is no. So, number 16 is, dito tayo sa 8% on gross sales, receipts, and other non-operating income. So, pag nag-8% tayo, wala na tayong method of deduction na itemized or OSD. So, proceed na tayo. Part 2, yan, information of spouse, if applicable lang. So, proceed na tayo dito sa part 3. So, dito sa part 3, wala pa tayong info dito, tax due, lahat na yan. Because hindi pa natin na-fill outan yung ating next page. So, proceed tayo sa next page. Yan. So, hanapin nyo lang yung ating 8%, that is the Schedule 2. So, yung sales receipts, sales revenues, receipts, fees natin. So, balikan natin yung ating Excel file. So, yung sales natin is 145,775. 145,775. Yan. Again, non-operating income if may mga other income kayo na hindi related sa inyong business. For example, nag-garage sale kayo, yung mga not related sa inyong business. So, in most cases, zero. Yan. So, total income for the quarter is still 145,775. So, dito sa number 50, add total taxable income from the previous quarter. So, first quarter pa to, again, 0 lang yan. And that would give us the same, itong cumulative taxable income as of this quarter na 145,775. So, number 52, so ito wag niyong kakalimutan na may allowable tayo na reduction if purely business tayo ha, or practice of profession. So, sa mga mixed income earner, so hindi na nag-a-apply yung 250,000 dito. So, proceed tayo. Kita nyo, yung ating taxable loss is 104,225 and that would give us yung tax due na 0. So, sa tax credits and payments naman, if ever applicable sa inyo, may mga prior years excess credits kayo. So, i-check nyo yung na-file nyo na 2024 na ITR. So, may option doon na pwede nyo i-carry forward yung mga excess payments ninyo or credits. So, if wala naman, 0. Ayan. And tax payments for the previous quarter, still 0 dahil first quarter pa ito. Ito, creditable tax withheld for the previous quarter, so 0. And ito naman sa 58 is the 2307 for this quarter is depende if may local agency kayo, yung example natin kanina. You'll see it here. If nag-withhold yung agency ninyo, tandaan nyo, hingi kayo ng 2307 so that magagamit nyo yan dito sa inyong income tax, I mean sa inyong ITR. So for example, nagpadala sila or nakatanggap kayo na ito, 2,000 na 2307 for the first quarter. So natanggap nyo. So ilalagay nyo dito is 2,000. Ayan. So tax paid in return previously filed if ito ay amended. So hindi ito applicable sa atin. Foreign tax credits if applicable, 0 then. Other tax credits and payments, 0. And total tax credits and payments is 2,000 because dahil dun sa ating 2307. So, proceed na tayo. Dito sa penalties, wala kayong ilalagay dyan. If ever may mga penalties, kailangan nyo na talagang magpunta sa inyong RDO so that yung officer of the day yung magkukompute ng penalties if ever late kayong nag-file. So, balikan natin yung page 1. Ayan. So, yung ating tax due is 0 but may 2307 tayo, 2,000. So, may tax payable tayo na negative or overpayment na negative 2,000. So, in net effect niyan is wala tayong or overpayment tayo, 2,000. So, in case yung 2307 naman ninyo sa second quarter, pwede nyo na din namang gamitin yon if ever. So, ito, if okay na kayo, click nyo yung validate. Ayan, successful. And then, pwede nyo i-save. And then, print. So that may copy kayo nung inyong final na 1701Q. And then, submit. Ayan, submit ninyo. Ayan, are you sure you want to submit? And then, may ano pa yan, yung, you will, if ever, nag-fail siya, kailangan nyo i-try ulit. And then, may service agreement, i-accept nyo lang. So, yung final niyan, by the way, i-screenshot nyo na lang if ever yung may mag-notify na siya na successfully that you have submitted your ITR. Because some taxpayers hindi kasi nakakatanggap sa email nung kanilang tax return receipt na confirmation. So, if ever, at least may screenshot kayo. So, ito, hindi ko na ito isasubmit. Ayan, cancel natin. So, after nun, hintayin nyo lang sa email yung income tax return receipt confirmation. And then, if ever may mga payable kayo, pwede na kayo magbayad. So, in our case, MyEG and PayMaya yung ginagamit natin. So, yan yung example natin pag ano kayo, nung nag 8%. So, if mag-OSD naman tayo, yun yung isa-sample natin sa next. So, proceed na tayo if ever optional standard deduction naman tayo. So, again, version 2018, yung pipili natin, 1701Q, version 2018, yan, fill up nyo. Click OK. And then, balik tayo dito, 2025. So, yan, first quarter, mabilisan lang, 0. And then, dito sa ATC, since optional standard deduction na kayo, dito na kayo sa income from profession, graduated income tax rate. So, again, birthday, 1995, and then citizenship, Filipino. Tax number, not applicable. So, no, ang 15. And then dito sa 16, yan, ano na tayo, graduated rates. And then dito sa method of deduction is the optional standard deduction. So part 2 sa background information of spouse, if applicable lang. So if hindi naman, leave it blank. And then proceed tayo sa next page. So dito tayo sa ating Schedule 1 for graduated income tax rate. Yung sales natin is ayan, 145,775. And then automatic niya na actually kinumpute yung ito. Optional standard deduction is 58,310. Check natin if tama yung computation natin. Yan, 58,310 and that would give us itong 87,465. So taxable income from previous quarter, so 0. Non-operating income, 0. Ito amount received in GPP, 0. So total taxable income natin is 87,465. So yung tax due niyan is 0. If gagamitan nyo ng table, yung ginamit natin kanina, it's still 0. So yung nakaganda dito again is automatic yung kinukompute. No need na kayo magmano-mano na gamitin yung table. So proceed tayo. Ito, prior years excess credits. Yan, if meron, 0. Tax payment previous quarter, 0. Creditable tax withheld previous quarter, 0. So dito tayo sa 2307 for this quarter. Yan, may 2,000 tayo. Same kanina. So that will give us itong tax overpayment na 2,000. So balik tayo sa page 1. So same lang, di ba? Tax due natin 0. Ayan, may tax credit tayo na 2,000. So yung ating overpayment is negative 2,000. So pag overpayment, wala kayong no need to pay. So yung 2307 na ginamit nyo dito, carry forward naman ninyo yan sa next quarter. So again, dito, validate. Number 7, so check natin ano yung nakalimutan. This one is the professional. So pag nagkamali tayo, ayan, balik tayo sa 0. Ayan. So again, yan, income from profession. So balikan natin. Filipino. So try natin ulit yan. Validate. 16A naman. Yes, this one is optional standard deduction. So, validate. Ayan, successful na. Okay. And then save. Ayan, print and then submit. So, ganun pa din. Hintayin nyo yung if successfully na-submit na yung ITR ninyo, i-screenshot na lang ninyo. And after a while, actually within the day, mag-i-email lang yung BIR, yung income tax return receipt confirmation na natanggap nila yung ang inyong na-file na ninyo. So, kailangan yung i-save yun so that may copy kayo. And if may kailangan yung may payment kayo, you can use MyEG or Maya. So, may video din tayo nun kung paano gamitin ng MyEG tsaka Maya. So, check nyo lang yung description ko sa ating video and I think na-cover na natin lahat ng for the freelancers, virtual assistant. So, yun ang ating video for today. If may mga tanong kayo, if may confusion, di ba? Medyo magulo-gulo, medyo mahaba. But anyway, if may tanong kayo, just comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Pinoy Accountant. And don't forget to share na din sa inyong mga friends, sa mga fellow natin ng mga virtual assistants or mga freelancers dyan. So, i-share nyo yung ating video so that makatulong naman sa iba if ever may mga hindi pa nakaka-file. Yung deadline na to is May 15. Malapit na, diba? So, kailangan natin mag-file na and mag-pay. Yung deadline niya is filing and the payment. So, again, thank you for watching and I'll see you again next time.